Hi guys, Ashley here. Today I'm bringing you another phenomenal guest. We are with Will August from Outlandish Media. Today we're going to talk about all things videos, bloggers, and essentially building your brand and potentially personal brand in China. Will, it's phenomenal to have you on the show.
Thank you for having me. I'm very excited to talk about video because I feel like I have a lot of information that I can give to people that they would find very useful. So hopefully we'll get into that
Absolutely,
today.
because you've got experience building that personal brand on videos in China, right?
Yes, I have. Well, I'm considered the first Western arpachul on Chinese social media. Arpachul, if they don't know, is the Chinese version of YouTuber. So I started early. I started in 2015. So yeah, considered the first Westerner anyway.
That's amazing. And right now, a lot of people are sitting there like, oh my God, how did he make it possible? So tell us your story. What was your journey to becoming China's first YouTuber, Western YouTuber that is so successful? And how have you transitioned into what you're doing right now?
Okay, so I started in 2015. Actually, it wasn't much time after I graduated. So I was in the UK. And at the time, I was watching a lot of YouTube. And I noticed in China, there wasn't really a version of YouTube. And I thought, okay, maybe this is a good opportunity to be the first into the market. So I started doing English learning videos and then lifestyle videos. And I basically based myself off YouTubers that I liked at the time. And so, yeah, after I did that for about a few months, I kind of realized that I was getting a lot of traction. Like I made like 10,000 in a month on Bilibili. And I was like, okay, I wasn't even putting that much time into it. So I thought, okay, I will do this full time for a while. And so I went, I think it was in 2015 in November. I started doing videos full time. And by the middle of 2016, I actually had the most, you know on Bilibili they have coins, which is the equivalent to likes. I was the most liked arpachul in 2016 for about 2 to 3 months.
Woohoo!
So yeah, but you have to realize at the time I knew nothing. I was jumping into the deep end. I was, okay, I'm the most popular guy on the website. I don't know what I'm doing. And so
but you did
I
not
would say
speak
the most
Chinese.
experience I have.
It was all in English, right? You just discovered this platform. You went all in and it was English.
It was all Chinese. I'm fluent in Chinese, so that's why I was quite popular at the time, because there wasn't many fluent speaking white Chinese speakers, right? So they were like, oh, wow, this is cool. The guy from the UK is speaking fluent Chinese, and they were really interested. And then I started getting contacted by a bunch of brands. Like I did adverts for like Pizza Hut, Levi's, like Swatch, anything you can think of, and a lot of English teaching platforms. And I was getting around like 100,000 to 200,000 views per day, and I was uploading daily. Wow. So yeah, that's how I started. And so I did that basically until the beginning of 2018. So I was doing it full time on, at the time, TikTok only, or Douyin just started out. So yeah, basically on Bilibili, Youku, Weibo, and at the time it was Tudou as well. So that was there before. Now Youku and Tudou are the same platform. But in 2018, I started feeling like a bit of a clown, right? I feel like, you know, I'm getting like, I was like 28 years old, 29, and I was just making funny videos. And I knew eventually that this internet fame was going to run out. I knew it, because it always does. A Wang Hong, an influencer's timeline is around 1 to 2 years. And I was at the 2-year time. And I was like, okay, I need to think of something more sustainable. So that's when I moved to Shanghai, and I was talking to a video platform who agreed to invest in my next idea, which was, I don't know if you watch YouTube, there's like houses of YouTubers. Have you seen them?
Yes.
Yes, so I wanted to do something like that for China.
For China,
yeah. And I got the investment already. It just needs to be written down. I was almost there. I rented the office. I had the influencers, and now one of them influencers is huge, by the way. But what happened next was a big no-no on my part. I started touching on some sensitive subjects in China. I started going along the red line a little bit too much. So I know the red line very well now, but at the time I wasn't careful enough. So basically I had some online drama with someone, probably who had contacts with an MCN, with people up above. And I just got completely destroyed PR-wise, completely destroyed in the beginning of 2018. And so my investor dropped out. And I was like, oh, great.
That happens. That's China speed.
Yeah. I knew it was going to happen, but I didn't think it would be so sudden, right? So I took a few months off and I was like, crap, what should I do now? I have all this experience. I know exactly how to make popular videos in China. I've done all the types of content that I could think of. And so that's when I decided to take a different route. And I decided to help grow influencers that weren't myself. So I'd be more on the back end, and then have the influencers work with brands. And then, so I did that for a while. That was last year. And then this year, I'm moving more towards just working directly with brands and helping them make influencers in China and working with influencers in China. So yeah, that's the story. There's a lot more to it if you want to ask into it, but it's up to you.
Absolutely. Oh, I've got so many questions. They are coming. They're all coming. The first one, let's touch on the point of, working directly with brands or building influencers. So a good friend of mine who's also in the influencer space, he's constantly talking about currently in 2020, whenever we are talking about influencer economy, everybody's benefiting. The platform is benefiting, they're getting advertising dollars. The blogger is benefiting, obviously they're getting paid. The consumer is benefiting because the blogger is promoting the cheapest products, at a cool discount or whatever, packaging or whatever. And then the only people that are getting screwed up are essentially brands, because they pay everybody and they are helping to invest in building up that blogger machine and also bloggers and individual brands. So his big take is that soon brands are going to be producing their own in-house KOLs. What is your take on that?
Soon.
KOLs or brands? What shall you really invest in?
That's a great question. And you say soon, I say it's already happening. You don't realize it. They're not going to tell you that the KOL is owned by the brand. And because that's what I do, right? So, so basically, when I was a KOL, some brands would contact me, and I knew when I was doing the advert, the result wouldn't be great, right? I'm not going to tell you that my fans aren't interested in your product because you're paying me, right? And I know for a fact that sometimes when I would work with brands, it would be through an agent, and the agent would just pay for a bunch of fake views anyway. So the brand is getting screwed over left, right, and center, basically. Especially Western brands, if you don't know what you're doing, because there's so many agencies out there who will just take your money and be like, this KO is really popular, and they've got like 1 million fake followers, and that's it.
Yeah.
And all of the views, all of the purchases are fake. There was recently, I can't remember which MCN it was, but there was some drama where a brand worked with this KOL and they got a load of sales, but it was all like fake sales, right? The MCN bought the sales themselves. And then they refunded it all. Yeah. So
they already started building it. Yeah. So obviously this is already happening, but still brands are investing, even if they're growing their own little in-house blogger, they are still investing in, outside KOLs. So what do you think the future of that landscape is going to look like? That makes sense, not only for the 3 parties out of 4, but all 4 parties in the equation, including the brand.
I think there's going to be a competition between the KOL and the brand-owned KOL, because what I think the future is, the brand-owned KOL is going to work with the original KOL and then have collaborations. So the original KOL's fans will go to the brand KOL fans, and then they won't need to work with the KOLs again, because they already own their fans. Why would they do it? They just have to make their own videos now. And so, yeah, I think that's the way it's going to work. But obviously, that's going to cause a problem where the KOL prices are going to drop, and they already, depending on the platform, they have already dropped a lot. They're going down. It's going down. A lot of people realize that, okay, you're not worth this much money. I can pay for an advert and get better results. I mean, like through the platform, not through the KOL.
How will the brand exercise the power over their own KOL? Like, it is still a person, you're still building up the, somebody's image. And of course you can have contracts and you can have all that. But essentially, as you said, Wang Hong's lifespan is 1 to 2 years. Then, you've invested all this time, all this effort to build them up. And then 2 years later, they are either irrelevant or maybe, they want to do something else. It's also unrealistic to expect that it's a lifetime employment like in Japan until they're 50 or 60 years old.
Yeah, I think it'll just be a constant recycling of new KOLs. After a year, they're going to, I don't think it'll be one KOL. I think a brand should have multiple KOLs as well as their own more official channel, and they all should link together. And the other thing is these KOLs, they're not necessarily like real people. A lot of them are actors. They're just acting. They get paid per video. They're not like, depending on how big they are as well. The KOLs don't have to be huge. They just have to have maybe 100,000, 200,000 followers in the right field. And that's probably more valuable than someone with 10 million followers who's not in a smaller industry. They're just aiming at everyone, which means they're not aiming at anyone. That was also my problem when I was a KOL, because I was like a lifestyle, funny, like 搞笑博主. And so I didn't aim at anyone. I couldn't sell clothes if my life depended on it, because they'll be like, oh, look at this funny guy trying to sell me clothes. I like his videos, but I'm not going to listen to his fashion advice,
So different types of KOLs obviously carry very different value proposition, right? And we also need to understand when we're building as a brand, when we are building a KOL that is our own, we can actually incorporate that value proposition from the very, very early on, right?
Yes, exactly.
Let's talk about fakes, because you touched upon it. You said that obviously a lot of companies, a lot of agents, a lot of bloggers themselves, a lot of brands themselves are purchasing fake engagement, fake followers. And, this trade is not only big in China, it is big globally. What is your take? What's happening right now in 2020? Is it becoming more inflated, less inflated? What is the future going to look like with all this fake interaction and Douyin and all that?
I don't know if it's getting more or less inflated. I think it's staying the same. I just think the brands are getting smarter towards it. Everyone's starting to realize. And then they realize which platforms are the worst culprits of doing this. So we're talking like Weibo's the worst. Weibo is the worst. Oh my God. Sometimes I look at my fan count and I'm like, did someone buy me fake fans? Why am I getting like 1,000 fans? And then Weibo's basically giving them to me themselves because they want their platform to look good, right? So they're giving everyone fans. So it's like, well, I don't know how many of these are real. And some people are like, I don't remember following you. So it's just getting ridiculous over there. But then on the flip side, there are like Bilibili is you can buy in, but it's very difficult to get fake followers on that platform. Douyin, TikTok, you can get fake followers, but generally speaking, big accounts won't risk buying fake followers because they don't want to get banned. So there's also that factor as well. The stricter the platform is to the fake followers, the more reliable the statistics are.
What about WeChat? What about Red?
WeChat, you can buy it, but it's very obvious, right? You could, first of all, your fan amount on your WeChat subscription account isn't publicly seeable, right? So it doesn't matter if you have a ton of followers; they can't see it. It matters how many views you get per article. And if one article is like written really badly, but suddenly has 100,000 views, you're just like, that's a bit weird, right? And then the next article has 100 views, so it's quite easy to tell. So yeah, there are other tricks for WeChat, like just it's the same as Weibo as well, right? every post is like "抽奖, a prize, 10,000 RMB if you share this," and so everyone's sharing, and no one's watching it; they're just sharing it, and so your statistics are going up for quite a low price. That's how it works over there.
What about Red? Are you a fan of Red or just videos?
I don't know too much because Red's the one I'm least familiar with because it's all about makeup. So it's not really my field. But as far as I know, I've spoken to a few brands that have worked on Red and they say they got scammed because they were all fake followers. So I probably not all fake, but there's definitely some fake on there. Yeah.
Right now, there's a very big new thing. Obviously, you're familiar with it. There are companies that are like MCNs, but they work with micro influencers, really, really small bloggers that probably have between 10 to 100,000 fans on all these various channels. And their business model is very straightforward. They take, I don't know, 300,000 RMB from you and plus, let's say, 10 or 20% of sales amount. And they say, you don't need to pay us anything on top. Our bloggers are going to sell on your behalf, and we guarantee that we're going to sell for 1,000 or 1 million, 1.5 million RMB or something like that. So then all these brands are running. They're like, finally, bloggers are not just going to entertain and record videos, but they're actually going to sell on our behalf. So basically then the sales happen, and then a lot of those sales are being shipped back with the return and refund and whatever. And the brand itself needs to handle the refunds and probably lose a lot more money. What is your take about those models? Are you aware of any models like this where you're essentially truly selling through bloggers, not just promoting through bloggers, that have been effective?
I actually haven't heard of them before. So these MCNs are working with smaller people, and is it a scam? Are you saying it's not?
It's not a scam. It's not a scam. It's just that some part of it are actual users purchasing stuff, and some of it is just obviously MCN purchasing it in a bulk from all these various accounts, and then like on, let's say, Tmall, you can purchase tons of things, and then within 30 days you can just ship them back. So then 80% of your merchandise you sold for 1.5 million RMB, and then 80% of your merchandise is now shipped back. So obviously, as a brand, you are.
Christ.
Yeah.
Obviously, I would not recommend anyone. I mean, if an MCN is guaranteeing a certain amount of sales, and the influencers are small, it's a bit risky, isn't it? It's a bit risky. So I'd definitely look into the background of this MCN before working with any of them. Maybe they need a bit of a background check. Right.
And there are so many MCNs in China. How would you do a background check on somebody like this? And also the KOL, how would you recommend to audit the MCN before, committing to it? And how would you recommend to audit a blogger before committing to it?
I mean, the MCNs that I work with aren't too small. I mean, it depends on your niche, right? But a lot of MCNs, they should have a bit of a background already because they should be like at least 2 years old, 2 or 3 years old, these MCNs. And the main benefit of an MCN is their relationship with the platform. They can guarantee views, but guaranteeing sales is, I'm not sure about that. I guess it depends. Maybe there are some MCNs that have this niche in makeup where they've signed all these board rules. But I don't know. It definitely just a background. How to do a background check. I don't know, because for me, I would just ask my friends in the industry.
The network, having the guanxi, having the right people to ask, right? What is going on with XYZ?
Yeah. Maybe I should make like a list of MCNs to trust. I didn't realize this was an issue.
Well, apparently for a lot of people there is. Maybe that's a great idea for your next blog post.
Maybe. Yeah.
Let's talk about content. So you've just now said that obviously content is the most important, and you can only build, this followership through outstanding content. How shall brands approach that? What is a great content, in China right now in 2020?
I think content from when I started to now, it's the same formula. It's not overly complicated, really. There is a formula, and a good video has to follow these three criteria. It has to be entertaining, inspirational, or it gives you knowledge, right? In Chinese, 干货. And it needs to hit these, at least two of them, very hard. It needs to hit them so hard that you have a strong emotional response as soon as possible. So if we're talking about short video platforms like TikTok and Kuaishou, you want to start the video to have the viewer have a strong emotional response within 5 seconds. Whether that's it's so funny that it made you laugh, it's so inspirational that it gave you goosebumps, or it's so knowledgeable that you have to save it and share it to your friends. That's basically how you make a video hit the algorithm strong enough. And then you also want to consider, okay, what's your end goal? Because in short video, at least in what I do, I always start with the end in mind. Are you trying to build exposure for your brand? Are you trying to sell something?
Yeah.
So I'll give you an example. If you're like a shoe shop, you're selling shoes, right? Maybe a brand would be like, okay, well, I'm selling shoes. I'm going to make a video about a guy selling shoes. That's a terrible idea. You should never do that. So first of all, you have to remember the formula. It's amusing, inspirational, knowledgeable. Now, you match it to what your target audience is or what they would be interested in. So first of all, shoes, you're selling shoes. So you're going for the knowledgeable. You want to be seen as an expert in shoes. You want to be seen as the shoe guru, a guru. And obviously there are these type of influencers already. There are, what are they called? Fashion gurus, right? On TV. Have you seen the fashion gurus? They go around and they tell people how to dress better. Now there are tons of versions of this on short videos, but they're just like that on speed, right? 5 seconds, do. And they show this really ugly guy. And then in the next second, he's like, looks perfect and he's wearing a good shoe. So let's do it more specific, okay? So maybe it's about a fashion makeover guru who finds women who have recently been divorced and tries to rebuild their self-confidence by taking them shopping. And it's kind of, in that way, you're not only knowledgeable, but you're also inspirational. You're also attracting this audience, okay? Or maybe you make it more entertaining. You go around on the street and you find people who look really like dirty, like literally they walked out of a sewer dirty. And then you look at them and you're like, I'm going to fix you up. And they're like, what do you mean you're going to fix me up? Yeah, I'm going to fix you up right now. You're going to look great in 5 seconds. And then they take them around the shop and there's like time lapses and all the fancy 转场, what they call transitions. And then at the beginning, you rate them out of 10. And at the end, you rate them out of 10. And then people are like, oh, that's cool. That's inspirational. It's amusing. And it's knowledgeable. And they show me how to dress better. That's what you want to aim for in short videos. So short videos, 5 seconds, you want to grab their attention really hard. And then the rest of it, you have to hold it. You have to hold their attention every second. That's how it works. And if we're talking about longer videos, like you see on Bilibili or YouTube, the first 5 seconds are the equivalent to a thumbnail and a title. And the amount of people that spend like thousands on a video and then their thumbnail just looks like shit, right? And it's like, that's like roasting a pig for like a month and then just covering it in chou tofu and being like, there you go, watch that. So maybe it's the best video on earth, but they're not going to click it because the thumbnail's crap and the title's crap. Why would they click into it? I like to compare short videos and thumbnails and titles to public. Have you seen like the people that speak publicly in parks, right? In the past, in Hyde Park, and they're all like shouting. Everyone's shouting on their podiums, right? And so you're stood in the middle. Everyone's shouting at you, and you're like, where do I look? Which one? Okay, first of all, you're going to look at the pretty. You're going to look at the hot girl, right? With that, so in the thumbnail, you want a hot girl, a sexy girl. That's the first. It's just psychological. First of all, you want a human face. A human face grabs your attention. You don't. maybe if it's a talking dog, you might look over. But generally speaking, a face will grab your attention, and then you want to listen to what they're saying. Okay, are they saying something I'm interested in? This is also how you filter who your target audience is. So even if you want a ton of views, you're not going to say something completely irrelevant to what your end goal is. You still need it to be relevant to get the results you want, but you need to also make it exciting enough for people who is even slightly interested in that to click in. So yeah, that's the basic trap.
Out of the brands out there in China right now, who do you think is doing a good job when it comes to video content creation?
Let me think. There's a few Chinese brands that do pretty well. Let me think about Western brands. Well, most of the brands they don't. Most of the brands they don't really do that many short video creations. They're more of collaborating with KOLs. I'm trying to think of ones that have their own channels. So there is one, Ding Talk. They do a really good Bilibili channel, and they really know how to get views on Bilibili. It's very anime. It's very cute. It's very Wechat. I don't know how to say that in English. Like crazy. It's a bit crazy on Bilibili. Western brands, I don't know. I couldn't tell you right now. No one that comes to mind.
And do you think this is going to change? Will brands start creating their own videos, their own content, or will this collaboration with their own and external KOLs be the link that the bridge that they build with the consumer?
I think it will change, definitely. I think brands will definitely have to not only have their own KOLs that maybe you can't tell are their KOLs, but also their own official accounts where it's more about exposure and responding to comments, responding to reviews. And like on Weibo, a lot of brands already do that. But on like Bilibili and Douyin, they will want to start.
Just now, there was a also at the beginning, interesting point. You've mentioned that right now, China's red line very well. So as you're creating content, obviously you need to know what is and what is not allowed. So speaking from your experience, how can you give us a 3-minute brush up of what is and where is that red line that you just do not cross?
Okay. The red line, obviously anything political. Not just Chinese political, anywhere in the world political. You shouldn't speak about if you are a brand. Because in the past few years, there has been some Western KOLs that are saying like, America this, and it's getting a lot of views. But I would actually recommend don't do that, because you also get the other backlash as well. It's like, do you have no morals kind of thing? You're just saying it for views. What are you saying kind of thing? The other thing is anything drama related, also avoid, because you will get stuck in drama. And once you are stuck in drama, it's kind of impossible to get out of it. Look at Dolce and Gabbana a few years ago. Once you're in there, you can't. It's like being stuck in mud. Anything you say is wrong. Okay, so just don't do it. Anything culturally, you have to be very careful. If you're doing anything to do with Chinese culture, you definitely should go through not just one Chinese person, but a team of Chinese people and see, because it's a very sensitive time at the moment in China, especially, and people are looking for someone to make an example of. So if you just make a tiny mistake when referring to Chinese culture, even if it wasn't meant to be hurtful, you will get taken down very quickly. It's very tough at the moment. Definitely find someone who knows what they're talking about. Don't just find like your Chinese friend said it's okay, so it's okay. It's not.
Absolutely, absolutely. And how do you get out of a PR crisis? You've got personal experience, as you said. It's been really difficult, and you've just now mentioned Dolce Gabbana and many other foreign and even local brands gone through this experience in the past. I would say 3 years. There's been the 3 years of drama, and more drama. So, do you have any tips for how to actually get out if you find yourself in this situation?
My tips for this is if you do get stuck in drama, even if you get a ton of hate, you should definitely make your side known. There are some brands that will stay silent, or because they're getting, or if they make an apology, or if they come out with a statement and they still get a lot of hate, they feel like they haven't done it well. But that's naturally what's going to happen. So long as, because the people that support you, they're not going to comment. They're not going to say anything. They're going to stay silent. But the people that don't like you are going to comment. So every comment you get will be negative, but you have to realize that you are hitting people that will understand what your point is. They're just not saying anything. I wouldn't say the silent majority, but kind of. There is very much a silent majority culture. Yeah. There's a silent majority culture in China. People don't like to comment, especially on sensitive subjects, unless they're a bit crazy.
And yet, how do all these things blow up on Chinese internet? You know, from one day to the next, if there is this silent majority, if something hits the nerve, really, we can see, I would say, faster than anywhere in the world, a small thing can really become the news the next day, all over social media accounts. Weibo is crazy for that as well, right?
That's because the ecosystem here supports it. There's a bunch of accounts that make their money from drama, whether it's true or not. It's kind of like, you get the gossip columns, the magazines, the tabloids in the West, right? It's like that, but they're all online. They don't have tabloids. It's all online. And the worst thing is, I have experience in this. You can buy it. You can take down your competitor if they haven't done anything. And it's not even that expensive. I'll tell you, it's not expensive. So this is called black PR, Hei Gongguan, and it's also very common in China. So yeah, that's why these big companies pay so much on their PR online, because it's a money game. Whoever has the most money wins in this competition, because all the tabloids are bought. So they're called 营销号 in Chinese, all these 营销号.
And that might be surprising to hear for some of the China watchers out there, because there's been so many accounts that were shut down because of the negativity, because of sharing gossip, because of sharing, let's call them, popular name right now, the fake news, etc. And yet we see so many yellow press outlets appearing and essentially running on social media.
Yeah, it's crazy how well they do. And in a sense, it's also a way of controlling the言论of the internet. So they have to exist in some way or another. And it's not always just companies controlling it. There's also there's probably some people out there that want to control which companies are more popular, or which KOLs are more popular than others. So you have to take that into consideration. Obviously, especially for foreign KOLs, you don't want anyone having too much influence. It could cause trouble.
Absolutely. Now, what is your favorite social media platform in China in 2020 and looking into 2021?
Actually, my favorite one at the moment is TikTok, Douyin. I think the algorithm is amazing. A lot of people don't like Douyin. They think it's like childish. I actually think it's the most suited to my tastes, and it's like fast, super fast. If I go on like Bilibili, it's kind of, I have to look around, and I'm looking at the top 5. That's why Bilibili, the KOLs, they stay the top KOLs for a long time. On Douyin, they change every month because the platform just pushes new people. They love new people. They don't want old people. On Bilibili, they want the old people. They like the old people. They're reliable. They're a source of income. But on Douyin, that's not how it works. Anyway, everyone's a source of income on Douyin.
Absolutely. And for Douyin right now, what ByteDance is building essentially is this closed loop ecosystem. So right now, when you are promoting with a blogger, you are supposed to go through them as the official MCN. At the same time, they are right now starting, I believe they just now, a couple of days ago, or in a couple of days, they're going to be blocking the external links for purchases. So you will have to have your own Douyin shop and all that. What is your take? Can ByteDance really build an effective closed loop ecosystem on this?
That's also what I'm wondering. And I think they have a good shot. Because in the past, where was all the leads into Tmall that wasn't that focused? Now it's super focused on short video and video platforms. Douyin, TikTok, Kuaishou, Bilibili, etc. And originally they were linking to Tmall. Now they want it all themselves. They want the whole pie. I think they have a good shot of doing quite well. They won't do as well as Tmall, obviously, because it's like people are still want to go to Tmall to visit like a more official shop. But if they're looking for advice, they're probably going to start following influencers who are experts in the field and taking their advice, looking at their shops. And also if brands start having their own shops on there, which I definitely advise they should, especially since I have a lot of contacts and friends who have been headhunted from Tmall moving over to ByteDance. It's happening a lot. And Tmall are panicking. They're panicking. All of their good people are getting paid more to go to ByteDance. So they also have the mini programs which are opening. So there'll be more kind of like the Xiaochangshu, the mini program in Wechat. It'll be the same in Douyin as well. I'm excited. I'm not sure how well it's going to do, but I can only assume it will do quite well just because of the amount of viewers they have. And instead of clicking outside of a link, they can go inside. Obviously, Douyin are going to promote it more. They're much more happy to do that because it's more income for them.
Absolutely. Yeah. What about Kuaishou? Just recently, Kuaishou has joined the ranks of China's e-commerce giant. So right now people say it's Alibaba, it's JD, it's obviously Pinduoduo, and the fourth largest e-commerce platform in China is Kuaishou.
Yeah, that's crazy. They're just gonna grow next year. That's all I can say. I'm not sure how big they can get just from being from a short video platform to an e-commerce platform. As far as I know, it's never been done, but I think it's going to grow anyway. It's going to grow. I don't know how big it's going to grow, but it's going to grow.
Short videos versus live streaming. Like this whole last year was, or this year and last year was about live streaming. What is your take about the two? Are they going to coexist? Are short videos going to disappear?
No, short videos won't disappear. Short videos are much, much more entertaining than live streams, let's be honest. And they're much more straight to the point. In a live stream, it's like, most live streams are bad, let's be honest. They're just like, what is this guy talking about? I've caught him halfway through a sentence. I don't know what he's saying. But some live streamers are very talented. And you're going to start seeing more of these good speakers just doing live streaming as a full-time job, moving away from offline sales to online sales. And they're going to be, they're going to be together, right? You're going to watch a short video and then go to his live stream. It's already happening on Douyin and Kuaishou. So they're going to be incorporated together. So they post the video to get the views, and then they do live stream to get the sale. Yeah, beautiful. Yeah.
Okay, so you are working with quite a lot of companies, helping them produce videos, helping them to also create their own KOLs for all these popular accounts, including Douyin and Bilibili and many others. What would be your advice to companies looking into being even more successful in China in 2021? What would you say are the main important things, and how can they, leverage videos?
Well, first of all, start doing videos. And then get on these platforms as soon as possible, Douyin, Kuaishou, and open up your store there, because it's the golden era for these short video platform e-commerce stores. So if you're on Tmall and you're not on Douyin, get on it as soon as possible. That's what I would say right now. Yeah.
And keep producing phenomenal content with the right partners.
Exactly, yeah. And don't work with these small MCNs that promise you like an X amount of sales. That's just weird to me.
So you see, Will, you've learned something today as well.
Yeah, I think I've heard of it before. It sounds like a scam, though. You know, if you can promise like an X amount of sales, it's a bit like, why aren't you selling your own stuff then? That's what I would
Yeah,
say.
these are all very good questions. These are all very good questions. Each brand that's offered something like this needs to ask themselves. Will, thank you so much. It was super, super interesting and entertaining and educational and inspiring. So basically, I think we ticked all of the boxes. Guys, stay tuned for more China experts to come. Meanwhile, connect with Will August on LinkedIn and reach out to them for more insights about video creation.
Thank you very much. It was a very pleasurable experience.